Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you all had wonderful spring breaks. We are going to be starting the last chapter of our exploration of North America unit. We're going to be hearing about a French explorer today named Champlain, and especially about how he discovered the Great Lakes in America. I'll bring you a little bit closer. Okay, so we're continuing to hear mainly about Canada in this chapter. But here are the Great Lakes. I wanted to get a little bit more of a zoomed in picture. So maybe some of you have been to the Great Lakes that are actually between Canada and the United States before. We are kind of moving inland. We've been hearing about the discovery of Newfoundland, and then we heard a little bit about moving into Hudson Bay, and now getting further and further into the country. So let's hear about Champlain in our chapter today, chapter 6. Once again, this is the very last chapter of our unit. So we'll be finishing up with a test on Friday, actually. Okay, so Champlain and New France. He is a French explorer, as I mentioned. So let's hear about him. The French get involved. Now, one of the greatest French explorers was Samuel de Champlain. Champlain made many voyages to North America in the early 1600s. Like Cabot and Hudson, he searched for the Northwest Passage. Now, Champlain also made maps. He collected information about the things he saw. He observed Native Americans and reported on their customs. On one trip, Champlain sailed south along the coast of what is now Maine, coming from Canada into what is currently the United States. He eventually reached Cape Cod in what is now Massachusetts, a little further down. On a later trip, he sailed up the St. Lawrence River in what is now Canada. Now, Champlain liked the St. Lawrence River Valley right away because of the area's natural resources. Trees provided timber for building and fruit and nuts for food. There was grassland for raising livestock. There were berries, herbs, and roots for cooking. There were fish in the rivers and streams, and there were many different animals to hunt and trap in the forests and meadows. Champlain decided that this was the perfect spot to build the first permanent or long-lasting French colony in North America. And that is exactly what he did. So in 1608, he and 30 other Frenchmen established a trading post along the St. Lawrence River. Champlain named his outpost Quebec. Where are we? Right here. Okay, so a little northwest of Maine is Quebec. And it's actually this whole region, even though, as you can see, it's actually you probably can't see very well, but it's a specific city, but also a whole region of Canada. It says the trading post of Quebec was established along the St. Lawrence River by Champlain in 1608. So as you can see here, this is an older map, but there's the Hudson Bay we found out about with Henry Hudson, John Cabot's founding of Newfoundland. And here's the St. Lawrence River. Here's Michigan. Here's the Great Lakes. So here's the St. Lawrence River in Quebec that we're hearing about. Now, only 9 of the original settlers survived the first winter. Still, Quebec eventually began to grow. Champlain and his men traded with Native Americans, offering knives and tools in exchange for beaver furs. The furs were shipped back to Europe, where beaver hats were very popular. Eventually, the French set up more towns along the St. Lawrence River. Quebec became the center of the French colony known as New France. Just like we had New England, so there was New France. Now, the St. Lawrence River led Champlain and other French explorers deep into the North American continent. There they found 5 gigantic lakes. Today, we call these lakes the Great Lakes. They are so large that sailing on them feels like sailing on the ocean. So Lake Superior is the largest of them, and it's the size of some small seas. Certainly not as large as an ocean, but it would have felt like that at the time, I'm sure, especially. Now, Champlain himself explored Lake Ontario and Lake Huron during the 1610s. Later in the 1600s, other French explorers came upon Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior. Now, in 1678, a French priest who was living in the area between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie came upon Niagara Falls. It is one of the largest and most powerful waterfalls in the world. Maybe some of you have been there before. More than 300,000 tons of water pour over the edge of these amazing falls each minute. Do you remember how many pounds are in a ton? 2,000, that's right. So 300,000 tons? Can you do the math on that one? About 2 billion pounds of water every minute. I think I've got the math right on that one. Now, one of the most remarkable things about the exploration of North America is how much was accomplished by accident. Actually, let me go to Niagara Falls for a second. Here it is, the largest in America. Wow. So there's a Canadian side and an American side. Incredible. Wow. So one of the most remarkable things about the exploration of North America is how much was accomplished by accident, not just with Champlain, but others as well. The French priest who came upon Niagara Falls was not looking for a waterfall. Columbus was not looking for the Caribbean. De Soto did not hope to find the Mississippi River. Coronado was looking for glittering cities, not glittering canyons. And Cabot stumbled upon Newfoundland, but that was not the land he'd hoped to find. Henry Hudson was disappointed that neither the river nor the bay named for him led him to Asia. And Champlain hoped that the St. Lawrence River actually would lead him to Asia. It led him to the Great Lakes instead. So as we've seen recently of the last few explorers, they've been wanting to go past the United States, which they didn't even realize North America was there. They were trying to get to Asia. Others before them were also trying to get to Asia or were looking for treasure. And they found other things that were of great importance. And because of their exploration, they were able to develop maps and send information back to Europe so that when it became settled later on, there was good reasons to have them come there. But there's something inspiring about these stories, it says. It shows that when you explore, surprising things can happen. And this is true no matter what you are exploring. You might be sailing to other countries or just exploring your neighborhood. You might be exploring nature in a forest or park. Or you might be exploring other cultures by reading books or surfing the web. No matter what you choose to explore, there is always a chance that you will find something remarkable and new. So keep on exploring, which I would agree with, absolutely. Okay, that is all for this chapter and all for this unit. Now we are going to continue a little bit with some extra videos, but not from the book, and also some notes to take as well. And then we'll be taking a test on Friday. The next unit is going to cover the 13 colonies. So we are going to continue. Makes a lot of sense, I think, to hear about the first colonies since we've heard about the Native Americans in each region of the country. And we've heard about the exploration of Canada and the United States. So we're starting to hear about how our country really came to be with the English colonies that started off here. So we'll be hearing about that in our next unit next week. It's not going to start until Wednesday because Monday and Tuesday you have ACT Aspire testing next week. So there's nothing for history those days. But we'll start it on Wednesday, getting into the 13 colonies. Hope you all are enjoying this and welcome back. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, first day back. Bye. I'll talk to you soon.